Hello everyone, it's Lanre Yusuf, your trusted IELTS plug, and I'm here once again to take you on a journey of valuable information that is useful for you on your pathway to success. Today, we're going to be continuing from what we did in the previous video. In the previous video, we started a series of giving you information that could help you migrate to the country of your choice. Last week, our focus was on Canada, which is probably the most popular country in Nigeria right now and in sub-Saharan Africa regarding migration. But today, we're going to be looking at a very historical partner with the African continent, which is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, or Great Britain, as we all know it, is one of the countries that colonized a lot of countries in Africa. And this particular country is a prime destination, for a lot of sub-Saharan Africans who are migrating, and even Asians from Southeast Asia. So, what exactly do you need to go to the UK? And mark my words, please, when we are traveling, when we're talking about migration, when we share information on this channel, we're talking about people who are planning to live permanently, who are planning to acquire citizenship of these target countries, not those who are visiting for a short visit, not those who are visiting for just to have fun. We're talking about those who have concrete plans of making a life in these countries that they are desiring to go to. In the UK, what routes can you take to get what we call an indefinite leave to remain? An ILR is the equivalent of a permanent residency that you get when you go to Canada. In the UK, it's called an indefinite leave to remain. In the last 1 year or 2 years, one of the most common news items that you see is across many different African countries, Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, is that you see a lot of headlines talking about nurses, about medical professionals migrating en masse from their country of origin to go to the UK to work there. In fact, it has become a sort of a problem for us here in Nigeria, as the Health Ministry recently released a report that 5 out of 7 Nigerian nurses are leaving to go to the UK, and about 8 out of 10 Nigerian doctors are also leaving to go to the UK. So what is really particular about the UK? Why should you go to the UK? And if you do plan to get a permanent residency in the UK, what ways can you achieve that easily? In the previous video that we did, we listed 10 pathways for you to get into Canada to achieve a permanent residency. Today, we're going to do the same for the UK. What pathways would allow you to achieve what we call an indefinite leave to remain or a permanent residency? I'm going to be taking this right off the website of the British Embassy, and that would probably give us concrete information, as what we do here at our Pep Class Studios is to share information that is verifiable, that is useful, and that is definitely on point. To get an indefinite leave to remain, what categories of people can access that particular feature? The first one are those on a spouse visa. That is those who have a spouse, either the male or female spouse, already residing in the UK, already living in the UK. You also have something we call the unmarried partner visa. Do not worry, I will explain all of this in depth. The second one is the Tier 1 visa. A Tier 1 visa is also called a UK work permit. It could also be a visa that is related to you being an investor in the UK or a business owner in the UK. You could also be a skilled professional who has been specifically recruited from your country based on the skills that you have, based on the job that you can do by a particular company in the UK or by a particular business concern in the UK. This is evidently one of the most common pathways, and that's the one we're going to spend a lot of time on, because a lot of people have challenges accessing this particular visa. You have people who have gotten a job in the UK, but when they get there, they get their visa in Nigeria, and when they get there, they discover that they're being sent back to the country. What happened? What happened along that line? What caused that really breakdown in communication that led to them being deported? We've heard so many sad stories of people telling you, Mr. Larry, I wrote the IELTS, I got my visa, I got into the UK, and I was sent back 2 weeks after. Or Mr. Larry, I wrote the IELTS, I got a job, but they refused to give me a visa. What happened? We'll come back to that. The third one is the UK Ancestry Visa. What does the UK Ancestry Visa mean? What does it mean? Do you have an ancestor in the UK? Are you a British citizen who probably did not even know that you have roots in the UK, and that's why you're being granted a UK Ancestry Visa? Do not worry. Those questions will be definitely answered, and I'm definitely sure that what you're thinking is not the right answer to that question. Another one is an EU national or dependent visa. So for someone who's probably living in the European Union, who's probably living in Germany, who's probably living in Austria, who's probably been resident in Turkey, probably been resident in Malta or any of the other EU countries, Denmark, Holland, you can actually access a UK permanent residency or indefinite leave to remain through you or your dependents. There's a pathway to that, and that's something we'll also be exploring also too. And finally, you also have those who have the long residence visa, which are people who have stayed in the UK for more than 10 years. They can now acquire what we call legal residency in the UK or permanent residency in the UK. To get a permanent residence in the UK is something that is very, very good. And why is this? You see, the United Kingdom visa, the British passport affords you the opportunity to get into a lot of countries in the world visa-free. The only visa that you would need is a visa on entry or visa on arrival. So getting the status of a UK citizen is something that elevates you in the Committee of Nations, is something that allows you to access better opportunities. However, like I always say, the journey towards achieving that is fraught with a lot of dangers, a lot of pitfalls, a lot of mistakes. When you go online, most of the information that you see from agents are usually false. Most of the agents that you see are usually in it for their own personal reasons. They just want to just make money. So a lot of them share information that would most likely lead you down the rabbit hole, and you find yourself going from one problem to another. And what you hear from a lot of people is they tell you, Mr. Larry, when I submitted this document, I was told to submit another document. I was told to pay so amount of money. Before I knew it, it was just piling up, and it skyrocketed into millions and millions of money, millions and millions of naira that I did not plan for. If you do not want to fall victim of this, you need to watch this video. You need to subscribe to our channel. You need to watch the subsequent videos where we explain in detail every part of the process. But let me give you a tip today. Just a very small glimpse of what you'll be getting. To get an ILR, to get an indefinite leave to remain or a permanent residency, you need following. You need a digital passport photograph. You need digital prints of all your 10 fingers, which will be done through a biometric entry. You need your signature. Please ensure that it's a signature that is consistent that you're using. You need present immigration status. So where are you as an immigrant? Are you working currently and you intend to move up? That is for those who already have the tier 1 visa. Are you there with your spouse and you intend to move up? Are you already there as an EU national and you intend to move up to permanent residency? You will need to declare your present immigration status. Also, you also need to declare if you're presently studying or working. Your current status in the UK, your current legal status as a student or a worker must also be declared. Of course, you need your name, you need your date, and you need your date of birth and your place of birth. All of these information are critical requirements that you need to get a permanent residency in the UK. But I'm ahead of myself, so let's not put the cart before the horse. To get a permanent residency in the UK, it means you're already there. However, how do you even get there in the first place? Next video, that is what we're going to be dealing with critically. Today, I've given you tips. I've given you an outline of the processes, of the pathways that you can take to achieving that British passport or that British permanent residency. In the subsequent videos that will come, we will explore how to actually get into the UK, either as a student or as a worker. And then we'll now go forward to now enunciate, to now do what? Expatiate most of all the different things that we've said before. Subscribe to our channel if you want to be a part of the value chain, and do comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you do not like, tell us what you found useful, tell us what you want us to focus on, and we'll definitely respond to your comments. I remain Lanre Yusuf, your IELTS blog, and your trusted partner on this journey to success.